Hi, welcome to another reading of Ardamin Clone 7, Chapter 2, Part 3. I'm going to go a little bit longer than my promised 5 minutes, just so we can end the chapter. It's not going to be a long one. It's about 7 or so minutes plus me yabbering at the start, probably eats up another half a minute. He knew that Murphy had written it there. How or what with, he did not know, but he didn't react to the message. It would probably get Murphy converted, and he didn't want that to happen. He ate the food and drank the water, still expecting them to be poisoned, but they didn't seem to be. Every now and then he couldn't help but glancing up at Viridian. Every time he did, he felt guilt. Logically, he shouldn't. After all, he didn't convert her or ask them to convert her, but his actions had repercussions, and she was here to remind him of that. It wasn't that he was connected to these people, so offering to convert them wasn't really that much of a threat to him, but it was the children that made him stay in line. He didn't want the responsibility of converting children if he could help it. So he stayed on the floor surrounded by converted drones. He knew how they were converted, though he had never witnessed the process himself. He could imagine that. The Colonel had a vivid imagination, and so did his clones. Just one of the benefits of sharing the same brain as your host. The tiny nanomachines were injected via the canine teeth when bitten. Within minutes, they swarmed through the bloodstream, multiplying as they moved, invading cells and changing them, changing their victims' DNA. It usually took about 4 hours to convert an adult from a thinking human to a mindless drone, longer for other types. Once they were changed, the nanomachines changed their function from conversion to the many roles they had to play. Some were just to repair damage done to the drone. It wasn't a fast process, but it was much faster than nature could have ever managed. Broken skin was quickly repaired by the almost magical little robots. Bones were healed, damaged to vital organs too, but they needed many less vital organs. They really only needed the stomach and the heart as minor functionaries. If a human was shot in the heart, they would die almost immediately. Surviving a bullet to the heart was unheard of. But shoot a drone or any of the alien hybrids was simply inconvenient to them. The black E's they now had instead of blood didn't need to flow to work, as the human machine was no longer human. They no longer needed air, water and food to survive. The scientists weren't exactly sure what powered the aliens, but it wasn't anything they seemed to intake orally, at any rate. Even the mechanism of the heart had changed. Instead of the rather quick lub-dub of a human heartbeat, it compressed much slower, creating no sound as it worked away. The brain was important. A small amount of damage could be repaired quickly. A larger amount took time, but could be fixed. Too much damage to the brain, and the drone ceased to function. Something about the electrochemistry of a functioning brain was needed to keep the nanomachines working. Most of the science was beyond Ardamin, but he believed the scientists that helped create him and the other clones. Ardamin was created to be a fighter, fearless, dedicated and brave, but he also had a heart, and each time he looked at the girl, it wept. Knowing there was nothing he could do, he closed his eyes. Ardamin listened to his own heartbeat. It was a steady rate of 52 beats per minute, calm, slow and steady. Using meditation, he lowered his heart rate along with his breathing rate. Once lowered sufficiently, he fell asleep. Yes, surrounded by zombies in a cell where he had no control over what would happen next, he went to sleep. Something Matt Ardamin learned to do when he joined the army over 50 years ago. It was taught to all the clones so that they could rest anywhere, at any time. In the security room where the controller watched with fascination, it appreciated the strength and speed of the clone. It found the clone to be fascinating. Still, it was surprised by the clone's humanity when the girl was introduced. The controller had calculated that the incentive may work. After all, humans would lay down their lives for their children. But this clone had no attachment to these people. It was a gamble, for a clone could have been programmed to have no human emotions. That was the way they programmed their drones, with complete lack of emotion. The aliens knew very little about the clone warriors other than their bravery and amazing speed and strength. But now they knew of their humanity. Was it programmed, or did the clone's creators simply not know how to remove it? The controller sent the information about the successful capture of the clone via telepathy to Las Vegas and awaited their next orders. And that's the end of chapter 2. I hope you're enjoying the story. Bye for now. See you next time.